stretches and then we will be all done for the day. So our first stretch we're gonna do, so we're gonna come on into our pigeon pose. So I like to have us start in our plank, bringing one knee in towards your chest, laying it across you, and we're gonna lay down on top of our hips. You can come onto your elbows, you can lay all the way flat, or you can stay up on your hands wherever you feel comfortable. When you're here, I don't want you to sink into this hip. So I want you to stay nice and square. Think like your hip bones are pointing straight down into the ground, nice and even when you're in this stretch. We'll hang out for a couple more seconds here. All right, come on up into your plank. We're gonna bring our left leg in and we're gonna sit down on top of that left leg again. Make sure your hips are square, you're not rocking back and forth. Nice and square over your feet. Focus on your breathing as you exhale. Sink farther down into that stretch. Let your body relax. It's gonna be tight, but I just want you to think like you're sinking down into the ground. You're letting it relax. Let gravity do its work here. All right, coming on out. Next one, we are gonna do our frog pose. So I'm gonna have you come on into your side. We're gonna walk our knees out nice and wide, so you're gonna be laying on the inside of your knee. You're gonna come on down to your elbows in front. I want a 90 degree at the hip and the knee, so I don't want you forward, I don't want you really far back, I don't want your knees out, and I don't want your feet really far in. 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee, and I want you to sit here. This one's probably gonna be very, very tight. But again, I want you to focus on that breathing. As you exhale, let gravity sink you down deeper into that stretch. Let your body relax. You should feel as time goes on that tension loosens up, and you'll eventually be able to sink farther down into that stretch. Three, two, one. I'm going to have you bring it on up, coming forward out of that stretch. Coming onto our mat, we're going to come into a quad stretch. So this one, if you have a chair or a couch or a wall or a friend next to you, grab onto them for some balance if you need it. We're going to have one knee down, one knee up. What I want you to do is grab the top of that foot behind you, and I want you to pull your heel towards your butt as you're tucking that tailbone under, so you should feel a stretch down the front of your hip and all the way down that front of the thigh. You can grab it with both feet or both hands if you need to. Tuck the tailbone under and pull that heel in towards your butt. Almost done, you made it through. If you want to hold these stretches longer, pause the video, hold it for a little bit longer, or if you want to come back through and do these stretches after the video, you're more than welcome to. These are really good ones to do before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, just to get your body loose and moving. All right, we're going to come into the other side. So one knee down, one knee up. Again, if you need that chair or that friend for balance, grab on. We're going to grab the top of that foot and pull it in. I want you to tuck the tailbone under. Feel that stretch down the front of your hip, down the front of your thigh. It should be a really nice deep stretch here. All right. We're gonna come into our side leg bow and arrow. So I'm gonna have you come onto your side on the mat. Your hips and your knees are gonna be at 90 degrees, so I don't want your knees down here or way up here. 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees. The other thing to think about is that your kneecaps are in line. So I don't want the top kneecap to fall back. Think like you've got a rod going straight through your hips, so it's gotta go straight up and down here, and you're up against a wall. Your knees are glued to a wall. Arms are straight forward. What I'm gonna have you do is you can rest your head on the ground if you want, but you're gonna open up, pulling that rib cage open, twisting around, letting that arm lay flat, working through the breaths as you exhale, sinking deeper into that stretch. Modification to this one to make it a little bit harder is you can bring that arm down here towards your knees and open it up top here. You'll get a little bit more twist. You can stay on one side and just focus on the breathing, or you can work through, so coming forward and reopening up that chest. And have you come forward. We're going to flip it on over and we're going to do the other side. Again, hips and knees at that 90 degrees. Make sure your knees are in line. Reaching it forward, we're going to pull open that chest. Letting gravity do its work as we exhale. You can keep your other hand on top of that leg here, pulling that knee forward if you need help, or if you want a little bit more stretch. Again, you can stay on one side, or you can work through coming forward and reopening that chest. And have you come on out of it. We're going to come onto your back. We're going to do happy baby pose. So laying on your back, I want you to bring your feet in. You're going to come on the inside of your knee, but grabbing the outside of your foot. Inside of your knee, grabbing the outside of your foot. I want you to grab and pull those feet in. If you want, you can rock back and forth a little bit here. Pulling those feet in towards you. Pulling your knees in towards your armpits. Alright, and our last stretch for the day, laying on your back, I want you to come on in. We're going to come into our reclined bound angle pose. So I'm going to have you open up your hips, keeping those knees bent. I want you to put your feet, the bottom of your feet together. Laying here on your back, you can put your arms down at your sides. And I want you just to lay here, letting gravity open up your hips. Letting every part of you sink down into the ground. Focus on your breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Nice and slow, nice and deep. Close your eyes and just relax. That is it for our yoga video today. Again, you can do this video after a workout if you've already done a workout for that day to recover, to stretch, to relax, but you can also use this workout on a day of its own to do some active recovery or get a good stretch in. I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck.